Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tearing down a master blueprint for crafting an absolutely killer, beginner-friendly financial script. Have you ever wondered how top-tier finance creators keep you glued to the screen while delivering massive value? Well, you're in the right place. We're looking at the exact source code, literally the prompt instructions designed to help someone write as a world-class finance educator. We're going to break this architecture down piece by piece, relying completely on the structural elements outlined in our source material.
And the ultimate goal of our source material? It's to build a roadmap that teaches an audience how to save their first $100,000 and do it faster. $100,000. I mean, that is a massive psychological and financial milestone, right? But teaching someone how to actually get there isn't just about throwing numbers at them. It requires a perfectly engineered delivery system. The instructions we're analyzing today are calibrated specifically for that. It's not just a rough outline, it's a laser-focused roadmap aimed squarely at a beginner audience.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll run through 1. Setting the video parameters, 2. Hooking the audience, 3. Core financial strategies, 4. Grounding in reality, 5. Viewer engagement tactics, and finally, 6. The perfect conclusion.
Okay, Section 1. Setting the video parameters, building the foundation. This brilliantly illustrates the exact scale of our project. We're talking about a crisp 7 to 8 minute runtime, which translates to exactly 1,200 to 1,500 words of 100% original content. Now, you might be wondering, why do these parameters matter so much? Well, in the world of online education, attention is literally your most valuable currency. By strictly capping the length at 7 or 8 minutes, the source material forces the writer to cut all the fluff. There's absolutely no room for a 10-minute rant about your morning coffee routine when you only have 1,500 words to teach someone how to save $100,000. It demands density, clarity, and super efficient pacing.
The blueprint also establishes the educator's tone right out of the gate. Use simple English suitable for beginners. This is an absolutely crucial guardrail. Finance is so often gated behind complex jargon, words like amortization, compound yield, asset allocation. But a world-class educator knows that complexity is the enemy of execution. Actually, scratch that, it's more like a massive roadblock. By mandating simple English, the blueprint guarantees that the audience spends their cognitive energy actually learning the concepts, rather than trying to decode a complicated vocabulary.
Moving right along to Section 2, hooking the audience, the front door.
The source dictates that before any deep financial education even begins, the script has got to prioritize grabbing attention and clearly introducing the topic. It's a vital 1-2 punch. First up, the attention-grabbing hook. You literally have mere seconds to convince a viewer that this specific path to $100K is worth their time. Then, seamlessly, it has to transition into a solid introduction that sets expectations. The blueprint recognizes that you can't teach an empty room, right? If the front door isn't incredibly inviting and crystal clear about what's inside, the rest of your 1,500 words are just going to fall on deaf ears. Next up is Section 3, Core Financial Strategies, the support pillars.
Here, the financial educator has to seamlessly progress through 3 very distinct pillars of knowledge. First, a step-by-step saving strategy. You have to learn how to keep the money you make. Second, budgeting tips. Think of this as the daily management, the tactical defense of your cash flow. And finally, investing advice. This is your offense, putting that saved and budgeted money to work so you can hit that $100,000 goal way faster. The source explicitly mandates this triad. Leaving out even one of these steps would create a fundamentally unstable financial foundation for a beginner.
All right, Section 4, Grounding in Reality, Making it Relatable. To really anchor the advice, the script has to inject relatable real-life examples and pair them with highly actionable, practical money habits. Think about how important this distinction is for a second. Real-life examples provide the proof, right? They show the viewer that someone exactly like them has actually used a budgeting tip to save money. But the practical money habits, those provide the daily execution. It's kind of like the difference between hearing an inspiring story about someone who lost weight and actually being handed their exact daily grocery list. The source requires the educator to provide both the inspiration and the exact actionable routine, the whole shebang.
Now for Section 5, Viewer Engagement Tactics, the interior design.
To prevent the audience from just clicking away, the instructions demand weaving curiosity hooks and visual B-roll suggestions directly into the text. Guys, this is what separates an amateur from a world-class scriptwriter. Curiosity hooks act as little breadcrumbs, constantly teasing the value that's coming up next, ensuring the viewer stays glued until the very end. And the B-roll suggestions? Well, that tells us this isn't just some essay being read aloud. The source recognizes this as a highly visual medium.
By mandating B-roll ideas, the scriptwriter is essentially directing the visual flow of their final project on paper, making sure the visual pacing perfectly matches the spoken word. It keeps the eyes just as engaged as the ears.
And finally, Section 6, the perfect conclusion, the roof.
The source requires a definitive sign-off with a strong ending and a CTA. Look, a strong ending isn't just fading to black. It's summarizing the intense value you just delivered in those 7 to 8 minutes. And the call to action, the CTA, that is where the educator directs the audience's momentum. Do you want them to automate their savings right now? Do you want them to open an investment account today? The blueprint demands this final push to ensure the education actually turns into action. So looking at this entire framework, I want to leave you with this thought. If you were handed this exact blueprint and you had just 1,500 words to completely change a beginner's financial life, what is the very first money habit you would tell them to build today?